such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. Want to encourage you to go to our webpage for such a time as this today, for such a time as this today. It is there. You will always be able to see our new content as Big Brother continues the vice grip, taking down our truthful content. Always go there and you'd always be connected. So, want to get into all things black. And with that said, I have the professor of black, J. Con Thompson, holds a PhD, an MD, and an MDiv, and a master's in blackology. Welcome, Jay, as we speak all things black today. How are you?
James, as always, man, good to be on the show.
All right. So just want to do a real quick hitters on three of the things that's in the news recently, all things black. I'm going to play the clips, talk about the topics, and have a Mr. Ajay comment. Here's the first one. We talked about this before, but just a quick hitter, just to remind people, Mr. Charlie Dates, here he is.
To every well-meaning white Christian watching me today, to every president and dean of a Christian university paying attention to me today, to everyone who's tempted to turn the TV off or switch the YouTube channel somewhere else, ride with me for another 25 minutes. Let's see if we can unearth. If Jesus prayed for us to be one, why do we still remain separated and divided today?
Jay, if Jesus prayed, then why do we remain separated and divided today?
James. I want to say, who's doing the separating? Whose fault is that?
Well, white people, obviously.
Well,
That's the premise.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Charlie and them are saying. But I think it's the other way around. I see more division coming from black people than anywhere else today.
Yeah. And why is that is the question. The question is, why is that?
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's what upsets me, not upsets me, but it's sad that African Americans are so, in my opinion, easily manipulated. I mean, we get to the point to where black people, even within the church, are happy when white people are washing our feet. And it seems to be this push that, white people are guilty simply because of the color of their skin. And it is ripping the visible church apart. I don't know.
Has it always? Now, see, I'm millennial generation, proud of it, not ashamed of that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back a couple more years, Boomer, maybe. Was it always like this?
No, I can't remember it always being like this. But hey, it is what it is at this point. But I don't know. Which leads us to the second one. Here's the second quick hitter. The devil went down to Georgia.
They brought him up on trumped-up charges, convicted him without the benefit of due process, marched him up Golgotha's hill, executed him on a Roman cross, buried him in a borrowed tomb. But he was so powerful that he turned the scandal of the cross into an enduring symbol of victory over evil and injustice. And his movement was so contagious that he got off the cross and got in our hearts. He is my Redeemer and Liberator. And in his name and in the name of all that is good and justice and righteous and true, we must all stand together across faith traditions, across racial lines, stand together, fight together, walk together, organize together, vote together, pray together, stay together.
So there you have it. There you have it.
James, what's wrong with our people, man?
You heard it. You heard him.
Here's my take on that. So first of all, where's hell? Where's sin? Where's God's wrath?
Yeah.
And then where's the kingdom of God?
Yeah.
Those are some key vocabulary, if you will, that I'm missing
Yeah.
when I listen to some of
Yeah.
these preachers, these pastors. So it leads me to ask, what's your motivation? What are you trying to accomplish here?
Yeah. What's the gospel? I mean,
Yeah,
what is it a
where is it?
different gospel? It's just
Yeah,
but he's got to be right. He's now not only a pastor, but he's a senator. Right? So he has to be right. It's,
that's the dangerous part.
that is the dangerous part. To him, the cross produces the right voting patterns.
And somehow this unity that allows us to be in partnership across
Traditional
faith
faith.
traditions.
Yep, faith traditions. So the cross not only gets you to vote right, but it gets you to hold hands with the correct. I mean, get you to hold hands with other faiths,
Yeah,
different gospel. And
that
here's
sounds manipulative.
and what gets me is that for not simply just black people, but blacks claiming to be Christians
Yeah,
falling for this. And here's the last one. This is going on as we speak now. Young man was shot and killed, unfortunately, again in Minneapolis. Let's play the clip. Get your take on it. Here we go.
Incident beginning just before 2 p.m. on Sunday when officers pulled a car over for a traffic violation. According to the Brooklyn Center Police Department, the driver, who had an outstanding warrant, tried to get back in the vehicle while officers were making an arrest. An officer then shot the driver, the car driving for several blocks before crashing into another vehicle. Police say paramedics attempted life-saving measures, but the driver was pronounced dead at the scene. Governor Tim Walz tweeting, "Our state mourns another life of a black man taken by law enforcement." Tensions very quickly rising. Before nightfall, protesters carrying Black Lives Matter signs seen here clashing with police. Protesters also seen jumping on cars, even using cinder blocks to smash windows on a police vehicle. Katie Wright, the mother of the driver who was shot, identified her son as 20-year-old Dante Wright. His family telling ABC News that he was a good kid and loved being a father to his son Dante Jr., seen in this photo being held by Wright's brother at the protest.
All right, there you go. Minneapolis is burning. Jay,
yeah.
because a nice, good kid who loved being a father was shot and killed, and the governor seems to be taking the side of the protesters. Our state mourns again as another black man's life is taken by law enforcement. What say you?
Yeah, there's so much going on here, James. I mean, I can definitely mourn the loss of a human life.
As we all should.
Yeah, I can mourn for his son who's going to grow up without his father.
As we should.
That's sad. Yeah, and then there's another side, and I don't want this to come across as insensitive. I work in the inner city. I work in neighborhoods. They talk about him being a nice young man, and maybe parts of that were true, but he did have a bit of a record.
Active warrants.
Active warrants doesn't mean he should have been shot. But here's my thing, and we tell our young black men this all the time. If a cop pulls you over, don't do anything the opposite of what he's asking you to do. That just invites trouble.
Yeah.
That invites trouble, James, and we know that as young African American men, as middle-aged, as older African, we know that. We know, and you have active warrants. He knows he has active warrants. He knows that.
And let me say this. My understanding is 2 of the warrants out. He may have been more than that, but one of the warrants were for evading the police, and the other warrants was a weapons charge. And so if that's true, if you've got a warrant out for illegal a weapons charge, and you're getting into your car.
Yeah.
Now you say he should not have been shot, and again, we mourn the death of any life.
Yes.
But someone who has a warrant out, again, if it's true, someone who has a warrant out for an illegal weapons charge get into his car, maybe she the body cam says she made a mistake. She thought she was pulling her taser. She pulls a gun. But let me tell you something. If I'm a police officer, you have a warrant out
Yeah.
for an illegal weapons, and you get into your car, I ain't pulling no taser.
Yeah.
Because I have a family I want to go home to.
That's right.
And if you
That's
get in
right.
that car,
Yeah.
I have, to me, the question is again, to me, why isn't that the police have a right to defend themselves?
Yeah.
And even the reporting, maybe it's just me. He attempted to get back in his car. No, he did more than attempt to get in his
He
car.
resisted arrest.
Yeah, he resisted arrest and he got into his car. Okay,
Yeah.
and listen, if I feel for my life, and you let me get in my car, I got something in my car for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
That ain't
I hear
good.
you. I
That's
know,
not
I
good. And
know.
so,
And on the other hand, you have the rioting, holding up Black Lives Matter signs, which I think is extremely counterproductive and ironic that you are destroying neighborhoods in the name of dignity. That just simply
black
makes no
neighborhoods,
sense.
Jay, black
Black
neighborhoods, and
neighborhoods.
black businesses.
It makes no sense to me. Logic is
None.
not, reason is not there.
Not unless the accusations are true that Black Lives Matters, they can care less about black lives, and that they are a Marxist organization designed to disable American life as we know it here in America. Because please explain to me, anybody, on your comments or anywhere, please explain to me how destroying black communities and destroying black businesses when a black man dies, please explain to me how that is somehow uplifting to black people. It makes no sense unless you can care less about the young man who lost his life recently, and you want to destabilize American culture. I'll give you the last word, Jay.
Or the countless young men who consistently lose their lives.
Yes.
In some of these neighborhoods where
Yes.
I've yet to see a Black Lives Matter protest for that.
Yes. Yes. Sad to say. Well, thank you, Jay, for once again being on for such a time as this, as we look at
Thanks for
all
having me.
things black through a biblical lens. Thank you all. See you soon. And remember, Jesus is God, not your ethnic culture. See you soon.
For such a time as this,